Hello, welcome to House of Leo. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these gorgeous Bohemian Christmas decorations using up just your scrap bits of coloured yarn. You need 6 colours of DK yarn, a 4mm hook, and that's it. Let's get going. So I've already created the first half. I shall show you making the second half. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colours, and the 6th colour is the one that joins the 2 together and creates your loop at the top. So I'm going to start with a double magic ring. And I'm going to chain 2. Now I'm going to create 11 trebles, so when you include your chain that creates 12 stitches. So 11 trebles into your magic circle. So I'm going to come back to you when I have 12 stitches in total. You can pause it now and catch up with me. Okay, so I have 12 trebles on my magic circle. I'm going to pull the tail end slightly, and that shows me that this one is the one that tightens. So what we're going to do now is just pull this one, and that tightens that half of the magic circle, and then you can pull your tail end and pull that in, and that is an extra secure magic circle because I've gone around twice. It doesn't come undone. Now we're going to snip our ends, pull that through. Oop. Find yourself a needle. I like to do the invisible join for these, so that's to go through this way and then through those 2 and down the back. I'm just going to tie these in a little knot. You don't have to go too crazy with tying in your net ends because this is going to be on the inside. And just trim them off, still leaving a little bit on the back there. Put those aside, you will need these later. Okay, so our next colour was the green. Create a slip knot. Go through one of these stitch spaces. You don't have to go into the top of the stitch, just go between the stitch spaces. Chain 2, yarn over and create a treble into the same stitch space. So we're going to go round all 12 stitch spaces and do 2 trebles in each. So I shall continue around with 2 in each, so you will end up with 24 stitches in total. I shall pause it now and you can catch up with me in a moment. Okay, so I've made it to 24 stitches. I'm going to do the invisible join again to close this circle. Just really simply tie it in a knot. Nothing too fancy. As long as it's secure. You can leave your ends long like this, but I'm going, for the purposes of the video, I'm going to trim them so they don't get in the way. So our next colour is the orange colour. We're going to go in between the stitch spaces again, and we're going to as we did before on the round before, chain 2 and treble crochet. So it's 2 stitches per space, but this time we're going to do a chain 1 in between each group of 2. So yarn over, treble, treble, chain, treble, treble, chain. So I'm going to continue on round. If you want to pause it and catch up with me, I'll do that now. Okay, so I've made it all the way round. I've already joined and stitched the end there. So if you haven't done that yet, you can pause now and catch up. So I have my next colour. This is the yellow. And this round is slightly different. So we are going into the top of the stitches. So we're going into here, and then we're going to do, so this is a double crochet, treble crochet. I shall show you now. So through the top, one double, the next double, and this one we're doing a treble crochet and we're working back into our green cluster of 2. We're going between those 2, so we yarn over between those 2 and complete your treble crochet, and that's how you get this lined design. So it's a double, it's fiddly, double, double, and a treble into the green. Double, double, treble into the green. So I'm going to continue all the way around and I will close the circle. I'm just doing a simple invisible close for each of these, and I shall get back to you once I've made it round to the other side. So this is how it looks so far. It's looking really pretty. I love these. Next we're going to just do a very simple round of double crochet all the way around. We're not increasing at all, so this starts to pull it in a little bit. As you can see, it's starting to curve. So we shall do a round of double crochet into the stitches. And just do that all the way around. This is an absolutely brilliant craft to use up your scraps. You can really experiment with colour, and something I like about these as well is if you use the same colours, you have 6 different colourways to do them with. So for example, this one is using all exactly the same colours as this one, they're just in different places, so you see how different that looks. But I'm using the same 6 colours, so you could do 6 different ones using just the same 6 colours. So I think that's great. They're really fun to experiment with, and they do look so pretty on the tree. So I'm going to continue round and get back to you when I've finished the round. So we now have 2 matching sides, and now we need to join them together. So we're going to put them back to back. We're going to take our last colour and we are working in the back loop only of both sides. So back loop of this one, and then the closest loop to you, which essentially, if you turn it around, is the back loop of this one. And we're going to just do a simple double crochet stitch, back loops only, squeaky hook, double crochet stitch, back loop only, double crochet stitch. We're going to go almost all the way around, but we need to leave a space to stuff it, and this is where our ends come in handy. I have a jar of ends. I'm going to stuff it with these. You can stuff it with polyfiller. Don't stuff it with polyfiller, with a polyfilling, or an old cushion you could take apart or something like that, but I find using my scraps is the way. So I'm going to continue all the way around until I have about 5 stitches left to do, and then I'm going to stuff it. So I shall get around to about here, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've made it this far round. I have about 5 or 6 stitches left, leaving a hole. I'm going to pull a long loop, and I like to put my finger through that loop so it doesn't get lost. Stuff your end in, and then so these are the ones I cut off a minute ago. They can go in. And just keep stuffing until you're satisfied with the squidginess of it. I love using up my scraps like this. I don't like to throw things away, so it's great to have an excuse to use your little leftover bits from other projects. I'm going to keep going with that a little bit and come back to you when it's sufficient puffiness. Okay, so I'm satisfied with its squishiness. I'm going to continue back loop only. This gets a bit tricky because your stuffing wants to join in. All the way along. These make great little sellers as well for Christmas markets. I know it's probably a bit late this year. Oops, squeaky. Oh, I hate that. I really hate squeaky yarn. That's why it's good to use these up on projects like these. And one last one in there. And now I'm going to chain 24 to make my loop. This is where you can, if you want to, you can close it off and keep it as just a circle and then thread them like a garland. That looks really beautiful. Or like me, you can have them as tree decorations. So I'm going to chain 24. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you go back into your very first stitch, which I have pulled really tight. Oh, squeaky yarn, I do apologise. And slip stitch. Snip that off, pull it through, and you have a loop that looks a bit like this. What I'm going to do now is take this end, because I am a perfectionist and that gap will bother me. So I'm going to just stitch backwards and forwards through. Oh no. Try that again. My yarn split. The perfectionist in me does not like that. Okay, try that again. All three. Yeah. So I'm going to go through just a few times to pull that gap closed. There we are. I like it neat and tidy. And you can just weave it through. Trim off your end. And there you have it. Give it a bit of a squidge. So as I said, this one is actually made with exactly the same colours as this one, and look how different they look. You can make 6 different ones out of each colour way. I'm just using up all the scraps I have, so they're all different. This one is slightly different again. Instead of just doing one round of what was this one we made, wasn't it? One round of double crochet, I did 2. So it's made it a slightly different shape. This one looks more like a macaroon, or my dad said it looked like a yo-yo. So you can do that too if you wanted to, if you prefer that shape. I personally prefer this slightly slimmer shape, but they still look very pretty. And there we go. I absolutely love them. I hope you enjoyed this one. You should definitely get making them. They're great fun to do. Such a great way to use up your scraps. You've got all your waste bits inside and they just look so pretty on your tree or as a garland. So I shall see you soon in my next tutorial. Have a fabulous Christmas, everyone.